Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anne and I'm a full-time fashion reseller on the Poshmark app and Instagram. And on today's video, we are going to do a Q&A. So I asked you a couple months ago to ask me any question you wanted related to my business on Instagram. So I have all the questions in front of me and we're gonna do this. Let's get started. The first one is, when do I decide when an item is stale and what do I do with it? I'm a very intuitive person and I really trust my intuition. So most of my decisions in general are based on intuition. It's very rare that I find an item to be stale. And when it happens, usually I take it out and I either bring it to buy sell trade store or I send it to ThreadUp. It can even happen that I have friends over or roommates and they like an item that I think it's kind of annoying me and I'm just gonna, gift it to them or they're gonna buy it out of me. But yeah, otherwise I really don't mind having an item sit in my closet for 2 years. If it has to, because I choose the item, which mean I love the item, which mean I don't mind it being around me somewhere in my office. Question number 2 is, how is my listing process and how many items can I list in 1 hour? So I have no idea how many items I can list in an hour because it really depends my moods. Sometime when I list, I listen to music, I listen to my family messages on WhatsApp, I listen to a podcast, I put a show behind, so it can take me forever depending on what I'm doing on the side. If I'm actually really focused on what I'm doing, it can go pretty fast, but I'm usually always doing a couple things at once. For my listing process, so usually, if I picked up an item at the thrift, let's say, I bring it up here. Let's say I picked up this random scarf, for example. I usually cut off the plastic tag. So I do the recycling for this. So I have this little box where I put all the plastic thingy because I want to recycle them. I also have a second box that I thrifted where I put all the little tag that I get from the thrift or anywhere, I buy inventory. So like that, I have both of my boxes and I know I'm recycling every time what come out of my inventory. So this is really important for me. The second thing is, I'm gonna take the item and I'm gonna put it here on my steamer because I steam absolutely everything that I have. So I'm gonna put it on the hanger, steam it, then I'm gonna bring it over there and I'm gonna take picture. Once this is done, I'm gonna come back, sit down on my chair, find the stock picture. Once I have it, I'm gonna create an ad on Poshmark since I'm only selling on Poshmark. I'm also sometimes gonna post story about the item on Instagram because I know also people like to buy from me on Instagram, so it doesn't have the Poshmark fee. And so once I create the ad, I only put measurements. I know this is a controversial topic, but I personally like to put measurement. I've noticed that since I've started doing it, which was probably 2 years ago, I make way more sale that way. And I state the condition. That's it. Pretty easy, pretty simple. It's been working pretty well so far for me. So this is my process to list an item. The third question is probably one of my most requested question. It is, how do I find stock picture? Okay, there's nothing magic about it. I usually just go on the internet, go on Google and type the keyword. So for example, let's say for this sweater, which is from the brand The Great, I would say The Great cream sweater puffy sleeves and see what comes. I don't find stock photo 100% of the time. I would say a lot of time, because I feel that I'm an expert now at finding exactly the name and sorting through all the options. Next question is, do you try for a certain minimum profit per item, or what do you think is a good minimum? I would say that my style has evolved over the years. And when I started, I didn't really care. I was only picking up stuff I love and that's it. Didn't matter if I was making $1 or $50. Now, I would say that I'm trying to get items where I'm gonna make at least $50 profit, and I'm going on the direction to have items who resell for over $100 profit. I don't really list anymore items where I'm only gonna make $10. Like usually it has to be at least $50. But there is some brand, there is some style, there is some item that I like, that I believe in, that I know even if it's only $10 profit, will sell during the week. And that's why I'm going to take time to list it. I'm usually not going to find stock photo for it, except if it's like very easy. So for me, I believe it's good to have both. Of course, the dream would be to only have item to resell for, $100 and plus profit margin. But I really believe that because of the recession and how bad is the economy right now, that you have more chance in having both lower profit margin item and higher profit margin item. Of course, it depends, like if you have access to a lot of inventory, if you have access to cheap inventory, like I personally have, neighbors who give me stuff for free. I go to the bin, I buy stuff from other resellers. Like I have access to a lot of cheap inventory. So it doesn't matter to me if I sell the thing for like $8 or $10 if I only paid like a couple cents for it. So do you? That's my recommendation for most of your question here. Do you? Seriously. Another topic that came a lot in the question were taxes. So how do I do my taxes? What do I write off? What do I do basically? So I'm going to show you what I personally do for my business. Remember that I'm not an accountant at all. I'm not even from this country. So I really don't know all the rules or whatever. What I can tell you is that I have an accountant. It's been over 3 years now. I love her. I only pay $250 for it, and I can write it off my company because it's a business expense. So I'm going to show you what I do. So this is my big thing where I keep all my taxes. So for every year, I write down the year. So this is 2023. And I think the easiest way to do it is to keep everything organized and do it every day. And so the way I do it, so don't make fun of me, okay? I'm sure some people do it on the computer all properly and everything, but this is the way I do it and it worked perfectly for me. So every year I have 3 envelopes. The 2 that don't change, which means I keep the same envelope for the whole year, are gas. So this is the envelope where I put everything related to the gas. So every receipt I get when I put gas on my car goes into this for the whole year. The second envelope is called Things 2023. So basically I put in here all the receipts that are related to my business but are not inventory or are not gas. So in this envelope, I can put the the ticket for my ink, for my printer, my paper, if I need to buy scissors, if I need to buy Ziploc bag, if I need to buy thank you stickers, if I buy anything on Amazon, then I print the receipt straight away on it. Basically anything. So there's also a lady that either dry clean clothes for me or fix them. I also put her receipt into it. So basically anything related to my business that is not inventory or gas go into this envelope, and I keep this one for the whole year. Now every month I change the third envelope. So this one right now, it's April 2023. And in this one, I'm going to put everything related to my inventory. So any receipt I get, either from Goodwill, either from the bin, either from buy sell trade store, either if I buy some inventory from someone through Venmo or any other app, I put it here. And because I buy a lot of inventory, I don't want to have one for the whole year. So every month, at the end of every month, I add all the receipts together and, see how much inventory has cost me every month. So that's how I keep all of the receipts organized properly every year. So of course, I believe there is many ways to do it. This is the way I feel comfortable with, because at the end of the year, so let's see for 2022, which is the taxes I just went to do it. So I have my 12 envelope with every month telling me how much I spend every month on inventory. I have my things envelope and I have my gas envelope. At the end of the year, when it's time to go see the lady, I have this little paper where I write the year, and then every month, and in front of every month, I'm going to write down how much I spend in inventory, how much I spend on Posher VA, and how much I spend overall. I put gas, the number of miles, how much I donated to Goodwill, because you can write this off, how much square feet is my office, because you can write it off, how much I pay in my phone bill, because you can write it off, my office expenses, and money I give to charity, because I give to some association every month. Anyway, and so at the end, I calculated everything, and when I come to see my accountant, she's just asking me, how much did you make in gross income on Poshmark? I give her the number. How much did you spend on inventory? I give her the number. And so with all of this, we go through it very, very quick. And I have everything to prove my number. So if anyone would come to my house and come check my number, they can go through it. I keep everything. So my accountants say you need to keep your receipt for at least 3 years. That's the advice I'm going to give you. And then when we are done doing my taxes, she gave me an envelope with everything in it. So if, again, anyone come to check what's going on with my business, I have proof of everything. So that's personally how I do it. To come back to the question, why do you write off? You can write off everything. If you work from home like me, you can write off business expense. You can write off your mileage. So it's either gas or mileage, but I do the mileage, but I keep all my gas receipt to prove the mileage. I also write off the square foot of my whole business since it's from home. I write off what else do I write off? My phone bill, internet bill, Posher VA, because it's an expense toward my business. Basically, anything you can think about, you can basically write it off if you work from home. from my understanding. So anyway, I hope that's helped. This is my method. Hope you understand all of it. That was a lot of information, I feel like, but honestly, do it a little bit every single day. That's the best advice I can give you. The next question is, how long did it took me to become a full-time reseller, and how long did it took me to make decent money? So I paired those questions together because I feel they are related. It's hard to answer that, because what is decent money to you and what is decent money for me? I personally don't have a lot of need. Like, I'm not at all materialistic. I don't need new clothes. I don't need new anything. The only thing I care about is to be able to travel whenever I need to or I want to. That's all. I don't also have a lot of bill. I wrote that down, that's why I'm looking. So the only thing I was paying at that time was my phone, my car insurance, my health insurance, and my rent, which were not that crazy. So honestly, in the first month, I was already able to pay my bill. So for me, I consider that as making a decent money. And then it grew from there. I would say also that having, 3 years of just playing with the app and like selling my own stuff, selling my husband's stuff, selling my friend's stuff, and not knowing that it was an actual job, I really enjoyed every part of the process. And, like just making $10 one day, some months, like was so exciting to me, because at that time I was a student and I was not legally allowed to work. So making this little amount of money on Poshmark was just like, oh my God, this is, a bonus that I'm not supposed to have that I'm having. So that's so exciting. So I would say decent money is really based on what's your opinion on money and how much do you need every month. I personally knew that I could make it work because I'm not a spender, I'm a saver. I don't need anything. I don't, buy makeup or whatever. I only eat boba and ice cream sometime and go on vacation. That's all. So I feel once you decide what is the money for and how much money you need for it, then you can kind of decide if it's going to be enough or no. Obviously, if you're just starting, right off the bat on Poshmark and thinking, oh, it's my first month, I'm going to go full time. I don't know how people do it personally. It really helped me to have those years prior to feel very confident about what I was doing and realizing that, yes, it worked. Like if you put the hours and the work, it works. So how long did it took me to become full-time reseller? I became a full-time reseller when I was ready to become a full-time reseller. That's what I would say. Like when I knew the amount of work I had to put into it, when I was ready to put this amount of work into it, when I was 100% confident in myself. So it's not really a problem of time. It's more of when I was personally ready. I hope that helped, really. I don't know what else to add on that question. Is my unicorn brand or item I hope to find one day? Well, it's funny that I'm doing the YouTube video right now because I actually found the 2 unicorn brand I was looking for. I'm going to show you. So the first one, I posted it on Instagram, and it is this Chanel vintage trouser that is freaking adorable. I brought it to dry cleaning, and the lady did a really good job, so now it looks like new. I'm so happy. I didn't list it yet. It always takes me time to list item I'm very excited about. And the second one is this Dior sweater that I haven't listed yet because it has a couple stain that I'm gonna try to remove with bleach. because why not? And yeah, so that would be my 2 unicorn brand that I was hoping to find one day and that I finally found. And the last question is, do you use any other extension beside Posher VA, and how do you share your 1K closet? So I put those one together because, again, I think they fit together. No, the only thing I'm using for my business is Posher VA. So I've talk many times about it on my story because I love it. I think it has totally changed the way I'm able to run my business. So for those who don't know, Posher VA is an extension that you add on your computer and that you let run for you all day. And it basically share your closet, send offer to liker. It can also help release old inventory. And it's doing this without you being there. So it's kind of your personal assistant on your computer. The best things I've ever used. So when I started Poshmark, I would do everything manually. I've done it for years until my husband kept making fun of me for it, saying that I was wasting so much time. I decided to listen to one of my girlfriend who was using a girl on Fiverr to share her closet. So she was her personal assistant, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it, let's do this. So I've done it for a year and I've spent over $1,700 on her. So when I discovered that Posher VA was only $25 a month, I made the switch in a sec. It's life-changing. And I would say, like, even if you are not doing this full-time, but you are doing this part-time, like, I feel even more because you want to do it part-time, you should have someone else to share your closet and send offer to liker while you are away. So anyway, I'm not gonna push this on this video. You guys do whatever you want. I know for all the people who starting using Posher VA after I talk about it in my story and who came back to me in DM thanking me for this, you're welcome. I feel the same for the person who told me to use Posher VA, so I know how it feels. Anyway, that was the last question. But yeah, if I was not clear enough, don't hesitate to reach out to me either under the video or on Instagram. I'll be really happy to give you more info on the question. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your patience. Don't forget to subscribe and leave the thumbs up if you didn't do it yet. And I will see you soon. Thanks, guys.